So, chicks dig romantic. Not all of us, but a fair amount of us. Yeah. Well, and it's also, it depends on our love language, too. Yeah. It depends on our love language, and it also depends on, like, how we feel seen, appreciated, and all of that. So what is romantic to you may not be romantic to me, and vice versa. And it's not that my way of needing to be loved is wrong. It's just that if we truly love each other, we would figure out how to communicate and fulfill those needs for each other. So, yeah. Love is also hugely built on respect. Like, if you don't respect someone, it's very hard to love them. And respect is earned, not given. People need to learn that, too. The other thing is people evolve and grow over time. So what one person may have liked before, they may have decided that that's no longer applicable to their situation. So yeah, every situation is different as far as like what people want or need, and it's always changing and dynamic and growing. So it's being with someone though that's willing to go that distance with you and learn. And yeah, so I'm gonna talk about this because I was in a crystal shop and there was two guys at one point, and we were talking about cats, and the guy was like, I love cats because you can leave them alone for days and they're fine. Hiya, Syra. They're like, cats are beautiful because you can leave them alone for days and they're fine and they can take care of themselves and you can come back and they still love you. And I was like, yeah, but they're also mad that you left and they're going to shit in your shoe. So you can leave them alone, but you may have consequences. So I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I can be left alone, but it makes me very sad. I don't know. Life is so weird. How's it going, Syra, in your neck of the woods? Okay, so I love Jack and Sally. And I love Beauty and the Beast. And I love Addams Family. I'm also I've mentioned this a few times, how I want to be a vampire's wife. And that's really because, like, reading Dracula, he tore apart the world for his love. So yes, we all need the villain stories or that undying love or that love that transcends. So enjoy your day, Zyra. We'll see you again later, I'm sure. I may be back later. I just jump in for a little bit. Oh, coconut water is essential for hydration. Let's see. Between the lines, hidden meaning, vague, speculate, implicit. If you're having, and that's actually with life, a lot of times we do have to be, maybe. Well, give me a moment. Sometimes you have to read what's actually going on and what's in between the things that you're not seeing. What is it you want to try? And I'll let you know if I'm game or not. Okay. I'm going to pull out the tarot. Let's see. What is the meaning of this lost correspondence? Intuitively. Okay. All right. So this is with any intuitive information. You are always the one that needs to discern the information. So if it fits, it sits. If it does not apply, let it fly. Understood going forward with that. So I'll give you information. That being said, don't argue with what is said. Just know that that's information for you to wade through to see if there's anything with it. So what this is having to do with potentially this person that kind of came up to the surface. And we are in Aries, like Aries, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer. We are all closing out 16, 17-year chapters of karma. So between now and November 19th, we're kind of in that villain arc. We're cleaning the cabinet. We're cleaning the house. We're removing anything that doesn't fit with us. So this is about a 17-year cycle. You're going to notice within yourself and within your family, within your friends, within your environment. Okay? So this is a lot of stuff to unpack and to release. Have grace, patience with yourself. But this feels like what it is, and I'll show you the card, but what it feels like is like these are maybe feelings, relationships, patterns that were formed when you were younger. Because the card that came out was Page of Cups. So Page of Cups. So cups are our emotions. They're our feelings. They're like our core memories. It's like, how did we, when we were a little kid? Yeah. So younger chapters, right? About 17 years back or a little bit longer, but that pattern goes longer than 17 years. But it's going to be those like, these were core childhood formations. And now it's come up for review. Like, do you want to keep following down that pattern? Or do you want to pivot and choose something new? Does that make sense at all? Like, this is a checkpoint for you to be like, okay, do I want to continue on with this? Or do I want to continue on with this and see what this actually does withhold now that we aren't in high school, now that we've had some experience, now that we have jobs and careers? So this is a point for you to checkpoint those emotions and see, were you playing with games with her? Was she playing games with you? But you kind of probably do know each other. And this is your point to say, do I want to pursue like a high school fantasy, or do I want to pursue the world in a mature, grown Aries fashion? Yeah. So sometimes this is like lessons to come back to say those crowds that you ran with, they didn't go anywhere. So these are all checkpoints. Healing, growth is all a spiral. It's not linear. So we get these checkpoints from the past to remind us, how far have we grown? How far have we come? Are we the same person that we were in high school? Does that make sense? Did I just beat up on your little spirituality there? Or not like your spirituality, but that's like tough love, like what I've learned, what I've gotten, all that jazz. So these are points to, this is a point for you to sit and ponder. Like if you're confused, that's exactly the point. Like don't do anything. Just breathe, rest, drink water, meditate. This is a point for you to be like, why did I text her? And not follow that with her, but for you to sit and say, why did I text her? Like what answer from back then was I trying to fulfill within myself now? We text people, I do that all the time. I text people, I'm like, why did I text them? Like, why did I do that? But then it comes back like I needed information from that scenario. This, I can speak to like personal experience here. I had, once upon a time, a long time ago, when I was a lot younger, I married a gentleman. It didn't last very long and we parted ways. And then I married someone who actually was incredibly spectacular. I had a good life with him. And then we parted ways. And then one of the guys I had a past life contract with, but also like there was a lot of shit there. But when he and I dated, and it was a very brief amount of time, but when he and I dated, it was like a checkpoint for me to say, like, if I had stayed married to that guy from when I was a young child, because I was 22 when we got together and 23 when we got married, but had I stayed with him, this is what my life would have looked like today. So those checkpoints will come back for us to be like, God really answered your prayer when he didn't let that situation continue. Yeah? I'll let you sit and process that and give feedback for a moment, because I'm hoping that you texted her just to see how far you've grown, how far she's grown, to see if you guys can grow together. So energetically, people will pull on us, and we will text them out of the blue, because that's like they need something from us. There's something, okay, so even people, we can meet people on the street and it can be as brief as just smiling at them. And to be honest, I've had an interaction with a guy, like a very brief, not even a month, from over a year ago, and he won't leave me alone. He's actually, like, I started my morning off with a nasty text from him because he didn't like the fact that I didn't want to date him. So the amount of time that we know people doesn't matter. Like, they'll still find you a long time later down the road. Yeah, he's not the only man that didn't take no for an answer, that I don't want to be with him. Yeah, and no one will stop them. Like, law enforcement won't even touch them. Lawyers don't touch them. The judges let them keep going. I think I'm going to start putting out, like, a wanted list of, like, the people that have fucked with me. I think I'm just going to start putting out, like, a wanted list with, like, their crimes attached, with the receipts to what they've done. Because there actually is, like, a pretty big list. And they wanted to be so big and aggressive and control me that I don't know how they would feel if all of a sudden their name is out there for everyone to see, that they like to attack a single woman. So, yeah, but, you know, the thing is I had warned this guy. It's escalated since May this year. I warned this guy to leave me the fuck alone. He didn't. But I also have the knowing that I have a lot of people watching me, like in law enforcement. So anyone that wants to get really crazy and act one way towards me, they are also being monitored and watched by law enforcement. So it can attract crazy all we want, but I'm heavily guarded and protected. I'm watched like a fucking hawk. And I'm not saying that to sound paranoid. I have eyes. I can see what's going on around me. And people want to mess with me, but they don't realize that there are other people watching them mess with me. So all they're doing is building cases upon themselves. Is that... like... And he's a dude that I clearly told him to leave me alone. It isn't fun. It's kind of funny, though, in some ways. It's not fun. It's been happening since I was a child, though. And I've constantly had people in my space that shouldn't and that know better, but they don't pay attention. When I say I'm being watched, like, I have people sitting on my property and watching and having snacks and drinking drinks while they're watching me, like alcoholic drinks, sodas. They're eating food out there at night. I have people driving by the house all the time. I have law enforcement that love to camp out and love to just wait and watch for me. So I know that people are harassing me. I know that they're watching me. I know that they're dangerous, and yet law enforcement won't do anything. So yeah, I also know that if law enforcement's watching me, who's watching them, so they can't misbehave either. It is perverted, and it is like a horror movie, and these men are disgusting. They get off on torturing people and causing them to be in pain. And so now I just get pissed off and I laugh at them because I'm like, how powerful are you if you have to inflict pain on a woman in a group? Like, you ain't shit. And they can't actually approach me and date me they can't actually approach me and date me. So all they get to do is watch from the outside. Go ahead and ask a question. It isn't fun. I wish people would actually treat me better so that I can do nice and fun things instead of being angry. If you would like to... Okay. Yeah. What would you like to know? Do you want to know the honest truth? Because first off, I am loved. But that being said, I can't be bought. Like, I have to be loved correctly. I attract men that think that money buys everything, not realizing that you can't buy dignity, you can't buy respect, you can't buy kindness. You actually have to be it. So all these men are sent to me to be like, when you have this opportunity to treat someone with kindness and love, how do you do it? And they don't do it correctly. So... I attract these men because I'm a healer. It's like healing even that hole within myself. Yeah, I'm a huge flirt, but the people that I actually entertain, the zero is very small. Like, that list is very small. Like, I flirt, yes, but the people, like, and when I'm in a relationship, I'm with that person solidly. And so, like, when I'm in relationships, I don't flirt with people. These, again, are men that think that money can buy anything and anyone. And when they realize that they can't buy me, they get really pissed off. This is the little bit darker side that I don't really talk about. And I love to talk about it, and I would love to talk more about it, because it really is like a side that I don't explore or share with many, but it's important and it's valid. And I have a lot of men that don't understand why they can't get it time, attention, or space with me, but it's because, like, you aren't a good person. And I'm not saying I'm Mother Teresa. I'm not a saint either, but I also have certain ways that I don't want to be treated, and I have the capacity to say yes or no to that. Like, I pissed off men when I started saying that it doesn't matter if you're trying to buy me a drink, I'm not going home with you. Okay, so the guy who accosted me this morning, it was one of those things that I had gone ghost, and I went ghost because I realized that it was going to become potentially dangerous. I'd gone ghost, and then I think I had said something in the kindness of, like, hey, this isn't working out for me. I don't want to have anything to do with you. It's not personal, but, like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. I tried to be as I'm a ghoster. So, like, when I part ways with a guy, I'm not going to create a scene. I'm not going to be, like, chasing them, dramatic, crazy. I'm like, you told me you didn't want me. You're never going to fucking see me again. That's complex. And we can talk about that. But, again, I'm one of those that if you don't want to be with me, I'm not going to, like, throw myself on the ground and cry. You don't have to tell me twice. And he wanted me to chase him and fight with him and fight for him and be dramatic and be crazy. And I was like, yeah, you're barking up the wrong tree. I told him, I said, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. This is done. And then he kept coming and saying nasty things to me. Yeah, I'm one of those, like, if we part ways and it's peaceful, I'm not going to be dramatic. And even if we part ways and it's not peaceful, you're not going to hear me again. But if you come to attack me, we're going to have a problem because I left you alone. So this, I guess to explain, like, the dating situation, you'd have to understand my life has been super crazy. But this was a guy, he was a random guy, but he was someone I connected with over a year ago when I first moved out of my ex's house, first started to try to relive my life. And it didn't work out, and it didn't work out because I could sense that he was going to turn into a potentially dangerous situation. So I cut it off and I went ghost at that time. He and I reconnected again this year. He hadn't grown. He still was in the same place and the same mentality and the same addictions, hanging around the same groups. He hadn't grown. So I was like, you know what? I knew that my perception about him over a year before, about him being dangerous and not being mature enough to handle a relationship, was accurate. So I promised him, though, that I wasn't going to ghost him this time because I realized on my part, I was like, yeah, that wasn't kind. I should have at least said, like, hey, I'm not interested. So this year I said, I'm not going to ghost you, but hey, I'm not interested. And then he went volatile. Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully I wrap that up as easily as I can without being super into detail, because that's when we get super lost and confused. I'm one of those too. When I'm done, I'm done. Like, if I fight with you, the second I stop I talked about this last night. I'm like, if I'm done, if I'm quiet, we're done, and you are to leave me alone. That doesn't mean come and attack me. Yeah, except for they take it out in aggression, like caveman style. And women are meant to keep it in as like, oh, we're just supposed to pretend like it never happened. I mean, guys are meant to pretend like it never happened too, but I've had a lot of emotional guys that handle it all incorrectly. Like, it's fine that guys are emotional, but well, it's not okay. So it's not even so much that like women, like guys will fight each other over to prove their dominance. Women will destroy your world, but typically it's like we destroy it because we've asked you and we've waited and we've prayed and you guys didn't, so then we have to move on. But guys will be like, I have to be the biggest dog, whereas women will say like, oh man, you guys are fighting over a carcass that isn't worth fighting over, so we're just gonna move on for better for our family. With women, like, here was a hard part, and a lot of guys don't realize this. When I'm moving and making plans and anything, I'm thinking about my clan. Like, I really am thinking about how does it impact, like, the generations to come behind me. So I'm not fighting with another man over resource about something that shouldn't be fought over. I'm trying to figure out how to help my family grow and survive. I have a lot of guys like, what about me? What about me? What about me? And I'm like, I'm worried about my kids and I. If you're not worried about how we're going to build as a family together to save our progeny in the world, we don't have a table to discuss that. So, like, women, when we move on, it's because we need to take care of our lineage. Yeah. My primal instinct is always to protect my young. It's not even primal instinct, it's fear. And that's driven by false. That's driven by illusion. That's driven by, like, that fake perception of there being scarcity. Yeah, but we now as a society can no longer hold on to those false structures. Why is it falling? Because it can't be supported. It doesn't protect anyone. And the fall of that heavy, like, control structure, that's been falling since before the 2000s. I'm not, like, that structure has been falling since before the 2000s. All of this dramedy going on the social scales, this has been all going on for long before we ever got here. These patterns have been meaning to shift, and hopefully this makes sense, or if you have questions about this part of it, but that those heavy, like, fight over resources, that's been changing since before the early 2000s. That's not anything that we could have changed. That's like, we can't support the false egos and the I don't know. You can challenge me, but I've been watching the trends and I've been participating, so you can challenge it, but I've been watching it. The divine feminines woke up long before the masculines, so you guys are waking up, and we've been awake for a while, so I'm dominant because I can walk it, man. I've been watching it. I've been living it. I know what's going on. Nobody wanted to listen. So I saw some shit happen. I called it out years ago. I got gaslit. I was denied. I was lied to. They went to a whole group effort to cover it. I gave up on it. I was like, okay, whatever. I don't need to know. I don't need to be right. I don't need to care. Within the last 2 weeks, that thing that I predicted and saw, I've seen it play out. So men do need a strong woman, but strong women need a strong man too. And male suicide is high, but it's like when men can't talk about their emotions, women can't provide a space for men to talk about their emotions. Just like when men can't talk about their emotions, women can't talk about what they need because men can't even address what they need. How can they address what a woman needs? So that male suicide, and it goes unchecked because we don't talk about mental health in men, but we can't even talk about mental health in women without the whole society thinking that there's something wrong. So as a whole society, we need to be having a softer and kinder discussion about how to address and handle and work through emotions without it being destructive and chaotic. I'm going to tell you the scary side of it, though. I've had, and this is just from experience. I've had men that couldn't handle the fact that I didn't want to be with them. They turned around and became obsessive and then hurt other women. And I'm talking about hurt other women, like, because they couldn't handle the emotions that I evoked. That was, if that makes any, yeah. And we need our differences. And I'm going to sound maybe old school on that, but like in our body, like I was an x-ray tech. So this is where I'm going to throw when people be like, I identify as a man and they are born a woman. Your pelvis, your bones tell me you're a woman. You can change your anatomy all you want, but genetically, in your DNA, it is encoded in your bones. I can x-ray you and tell you that you were a girl at birth because your pelvis will show it. And that's not meant to, that's just you can find me all day that you want to feel, and exactly, but we need strong men because women don't have the strength. But we do have a different set of intelligence. So when men and women start realizing we need to be cohesive and work together, we'll start having different conversations about humanity. Yes, men do protect. They also provide and they also lead. Asking a woman to provide for herself, to protect for herself, and to lead herself goes against the nature. And I'm not saying nature, like, I'm not trying to be sexist, but it's like men are meant to protect. It is unnatural for a woman to have to protect herself because we are protecting ourselves and our young. So we need the man to protect us so that our young can be protected. But everybody wants to say, I don't need a man, I don't need a woman. You're bullshit lying. We all need each other. Yes. I can't be my best version if I'm having to protect myself and my young from the person that's supposed to be protecting me. I've had to do that my whole life, though. I have had to protect myself from my protectors and providers since I was an infant. So when people say not all men, that's right, but every man that was supposed to protect me that came smiling and said that they loved me was the one that hurt me. Yeah. The challenge, though, so many men think that they can be off playing in other houses, not protecting their own home, realizing that their women can't protect. Like, I talk about how my ex traveled. While he was gone, I handled all of the disasters and fought off all of the dangers that came towards my children and I. But then he wanted to go out and play in other people's fields and then wonder why his castle was ravaged. Dude. It's upsetting though, because I had every chance to do all the things that he did and I didn't. I stayed home and I was the good, like, I took care of everything. Yet now he punished me for being the one who held him down and made his dreams come true. So, I don't know. As a society, as humanity, like, we all need to be having different discussions. And I do love how I had said that I love how I had said, like, I think in the society we do need to take more of a gendered role, like men being men and women being women. And my daughter, I'm fine. I roll. Like, I will be into something really heavy, and then a second later we're laughing like we weren't just at a funeral. Come on, we talked about this, Mordecai. Remember, we said we laugh at funerals. I am that girl. I was having a conversation with my kids, like, well, if you want men to be men, then, you know, they used to beat their wives in the 50s. I was like, yeah, but a lot of men also ended up, you know, sleeping with the fishes because they beat their wives. So, if that makes sense. Like, they went out to get milk and never came back. Like, these kids think, like, oh, Daddy just went to get milk. No, he laid his hands one too many times and Mama took care of things. So, you know, when people want to be ignorant, we can play that game. But, yeah. I talk about a lot. I also am very private, so if I don't want to talk about it, I don't. Or if it goes against my true nature, I don't do it. Yeah. I think, okay. I was talking yesterday about how Libras, like, we have, like, that dark side. So Crime Network, we have just as much bloodlust. We just can't show it in public. So we like watching true crime documentaries just as everyone. We just can't talk about it because we're supposed to be, like, happy, bubblegum Libra, like, cheery. Yeah. So. Yeah, no, if I don't want to talk, I just head out. So back in the day, I used to love, like, the First 48 and Dr. G, Medical Examiner, and then because I worked in the medical field, so I watched all kinds of medical shows. I lived and worked in the trauma and ER, so I have those stories. I don't need to talk about true crime because I watched it on the back end when people came in. Yeah. I get a lot of flack because people are like, oh my gosh, you always have these big stories. And I'm like, I have receipts. I've lived through them. And actually, you know what? Maybe I should start reading and releasing these texts of these these men, because that would be a whole true crime podcast in itself. You know what? Maybe I'll start a YouTube, like, men behaving badly, and just start putting up their, like, their receipts. I've got some popcorn for you, Mordecai. All right, well, let's see. Oh, I do random stuff all the time, but I also do love to randomly release their receipts and their bad behaviors so they can sweat and wonder when I'm going to release all of it. Yeah? Because this guy that's been harassing me, he's been harassing me for over a year and a half. So I've got lots of receipts about how much of a dickhead he's been, and I've kind of spoken on it, peppered in and out over a year and a half. So he's been watching me really hard for a year and a half for any little crumb, and finds nothing. I do have a lot of receipts though. So no, he is trying to completely fuck with my life, and they are trying to get me to end myself because of depression. And I can read to you the receipts and you can make your conclusion about what his energy is. But yeah, he is trying to get me to myself, and it's a game to him. And what he doesn't realize, again, he and all of his friends, because he's working in a group, they're all just building cases against themselves. So he is trying to end me, and a bunch of people are, but all they're doing is just building mountains of paperwork. So he'll be watching me from prison, and I'll be hopefully on a Greek beach somewhere, enjoying life. I am better than him. I don't sit around watching women that don't want to have anything to do with him for years, waiting. Yeah? Maybe I'm evil. Maybe I just got tired of being ruled by stupid men that don't understand. And if you think that's a bold statement about him trying to end me, I can give you examples of how they've done that to show you that, yes, they have been trying as a group to end me. I know that, like I say, that's a bold statement, but I do have the receipts on that. Yeah. I'll relax when I have a man that can protect and provide and lead. That's where that'll go. Until then, I have to be my own warrior. But I have a lot of, hey, Stone Witch, how are ya? What are you confused about? There's always confusion, but what do you want to know about? Welcome to the State of Confusion. We have a fan club. Come on in. What do you want to know, Stone Witch? What do you want to know? What's the tea? What do you want to know? Welcome home. You may not want to welcome him home here. I make hell feel like home. So, with the scraps that I'm left. All right, I'll be right back. I'll let see. Stone Mountain. No, you walked into public tea. What do you want to know? I was talking about how men are behaving badly, and I got receipts. And then I got called evil, and I'm like, no, I'm tired of being fucked with. But if you want to know the conversation, I would love to spill the tea. It's people behaving badly when they were told to leave me alone. I'll be right back. Give me a moment. Okay. Sorry. Or not sorry, but I'm back. I had to go walk the plank, so I'm back now. There's all meanings behind it, Mordecai. And if you have, each color has its own, and each stone has its own, like, specification or power or significance. So, Mordecai, if you're looking to attract certain things in your life, certain stones will help kind of embody that or help bring that out. So, like red carnelian, and I'm sure Stone Witch, because they have the discord with all of that, like red carnelian's beautiful for self-empowerment. Rose quartz is beautiful for self-love. Moonstone for intuition. So when you go down the crystal rabbit hole, there's a million things to go down that way. I'm gonna do, this is my first drum that I ever birthed. This was my my first ever spiritual baby I brought into culmination. So I'm gonna kind of clear some energy out. So this is my drum for helping heal generational karma, trauma, lineage stuff. So let's do a quick little ride. I dropped a lot of heavy information, so let's clear that out. This is, like I say, this is deer drum. This is for clearing out generational trauma. Well, let's go. Stone, how are you doing today? You kind of did come in at like a weird time, but it may have been the right time. It always is. We're always in the right place at the right time. And nothing is by coincidence. And William the Knife Man. Oh, man. Alright, fair. We all need a good bladesman. We all need a good smith. Like a blacksmith, so I'm glad you know your weaponry. How are you with your armor? Was that Reservoir Dogs? Which, I don't know if I've ever actually watched that movie. I think of Goodfellas, though. Reservoir Dogs always makes me think of Goodfellas. Oh, okay. I may have to check that. I may have to add it to the list. I may have to add it to the list. It greatly upset, it greatly upset the ones that were using indigenous, hold on, my tongue. It greatly upset the ones that were using indigenous medicine against me when I birthed my own drum and started listening to tribal medicine. So when I birthed that drum, that's because I had people that were sending me native medicine when that was going on. So when I birthed that whole drum, oh my gosh. And I was raised near the reservation, and I worked in a level 1 trauma up off the reservation. I knew the reservation pretty fucking well. And that's that whole, like, that is sovereign nation. They run by their own land. That is also how I live my life, though. Like, and to be fair, I live on land that has a lot of native history. And, like, my land has a medicine woman and a war chief on it. So it would make sense that I would channel into that vibe. Yeah. The women are disappearing because they know too much. They were the victims. That's why they're silenced and suppressed. And it's not just Native women. It's the Native women, and that needs attention, but that's so much larger. It's so much larger. It's happening to all of us. A lot of us are being silenced and suppressed from our own families because we were the ones who endured what they did to us, and then they wanted to make us quiet and go away. Yeah. Okay. Well, I know they're dead. I released them also, though, so that's a lot of my story, a lot of that has been releasing so those women have voices, so those women come home. Like, yeah, no, it's okay. When I moved onto this land, I live on plantation land in a ghost town. If you knew me, this was not where I naturally would have landed. I also have past lives where I've been a slave, and I've lived on plantation. So moving onto plantation land was so that I could give those spirits a voice from beyond the grave. So I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for hundreds of years of voices that have been silenced. I moved on to plantation land so that they could find their way home. And I know that sounds like, but it's what I do. I walk in between realms and I help those that want to go home go home. I didn't know I'd be doing it by living on plantation land. It's been something. Okay, so Mordecai, yeah, when you start looking at past life stuff, because you start realizing, so when I look at the people that I love the most, we all incarnate with the people that we've had past lives with. So like when I look at certain people in my life, they chose the face of people that I loved so that I would know them. Or they chose the face of someone that they loved so that they would be able to remember that. So when you start looking at the people in your lives, those are people that you loved in past lives. I know that sounds really freaking weird, but I can tell you how that played out in my family life. And after doing all the unpacking that I've done with past life stuff. Yeah. Yes. The Trail of Tears, that's like, that was, again, people thinking that they could take whatever they wanted and that they wouldn't ever get caught or have to pay for it. But they do. Like, people are mad. And they're starting to take it back. So, I don't know. I know, like, this was, like, hopefully this wasn't too heavy all over the place for you, but that was a lot to put out there. Yeah, well, it's time for us to stop being indentured to the system. And I know that's, like, big words, but is that hey TC? I can do a reading for you if you'd like. Donations are always appreciated. Love that. If you want an actual reading, that's through booking through my website, but I can do like a general pull here. Yeah, hopefully that. I can do like a general energy pull, and if it resonates, take what you got. If you like the vibe, you can always just hang around and chit chat, but I can do like a general pull for you. Let's see what you need to know. I'm going to channel into whatever this job interview is for you. We'll pull whatever the information is. Mordecai, no need to ask him what type of job, man. Just, they have a job interview. We're going to sew into what we need to know about that. Yeah. Whew. Okay. So, okay, so your advice, we're gonna say you have to sit with like your childhood dreams. Sit back with what you wanted when you were a kid, a little kid, not what you're doing today. You're gonna have to start using your swords, your discernment, to cut away things that are not going to help you grow. You've done your work. You went to school for computers. You know what you want. It's left you in financial hardship and heartbreak. It's leaving you juggling. Like, I want this, but I'm not doing this. I want this, but I'm not. Like, what did you really want to do when you were a kid? Because it probably wasn't making money. It was probably, like, helping solve cancer. So, maybe it was making money. But maybe it was making money so that you could take really good care of the people that you love the most. Typically, we want to make money so that we don't have to be hungry. And then, 10 of Cups. When you sit and you do the work, it brings in emotional fulfillment, happiness, love. Like, stop being what everybody else wants you to be and be what you want to be. This job is bullshit. What do you really want to do? Put your energy into it. Baby, nobody has the money. So you don't have the money. So right now, you can't think about it for 30 seconds. Sit, breathe, drink your water, meditate. You can't think about it for 30 seconds. Let it out your mind. Let it go. Let it go. I'm making this singing bowl sing just by... Let it go even further. Let it go, let it go, let it go. I don't want to sing that song. But Elsa and Anna had a point. Let it go, let it go. Don't use your hex hands. Let it go. The name of the game right now is release. Don't hold on to it if it isn't meant for you. Mordecai, it's my party and I'll do what I want to. You can't make me stop. And, okay, actually, Mordecai, do you want to know what happens when people try to shush me? I think we talked about this yesterday and we got into like a little bit of a dark corner. Oh, okay. I think that's where we talked about biting. That's what happens when people try to shush me. They get bitten. Or get their hand licked. I did not spat. I was just being engaging for once in my life. Yeah, I only bite people I really like. So if I bite you, game over. You've been marked for life. I've also been trying to not mark people for life because they're dudes that I don't want to be holding on to forever. So people want me to bite them and I run the opposite way. Which is how I got nasty Graham text this morning. Yeah. Okay, well. Tay, did that answer? Did that answer your question? Or hey TC, did that answer your question? Did I scare you? You like, she don't know shit. Yeah. Baby, I know you're worried about your job interview on Monday. It's a job that you don't even want. So don't freak out about it. The right path will align and it's coming. I don't watch anybody stream. It's not personal. I don't watch anybody's streams. I have a lot of men out here thinking I'm watching them and I don't even know they exist. Okay, so if it's not a hell yes, then it should be a fuck no. If you're not like, I love this, I'm going to scream it from the mountaintop, why are you doing it? I don't watch anybody, Mordecai. The only people I watch are the ones that like truly fill my cup. We're all homeless. We're all homeless. Are you in the place where you want to be? Are you home? Okay. So, and that is, you know what? Hey, TC. You're right. When we go home, sometimes that's where we do end everything. So, not having a place to live that's toxic and hostile isn't always awful. Like, when you open your heart, like, and this isn't meant to sound like woo-woo spiritual love, but it will, and it does, and you know. But when you say, universe, like, I love this moment. It's such a hard moment, and I'm super hyper masculine, so it's hard to let go of control. But when you say, I can't freaking do this, and you take your hands off the wheel and you say, you know what, I can't drive for a minute, someone else is going to have to make those decisions, and you just breathe, the path will align for you to walk upon it. Like when you say, I have no idea what's going on, I can't do anything more, I'm just going to sit down and rest for a minute because I can't do shit, what you need will come after you take that moment to rest because you allow yourself integration. Let it go. Mordecai, make me. Let it go. There are a lot of people that have tried. Get in line, my love. You'll be waiting. It's better to love me than to hate me. Come on now. Oh, okay. So I had a dude. I'm going to talk about this story. I had a dude. He was struggling mentally. And I told him, I go, stop fighting the wind. Because he literally he was so angry, he wanted to fight anything. So he would fight the wind. And I called it out. I said, man, you got to stop fighting the wind. All you're doing is just wasting your time. And ironically, and I said to him, because I said, I'm like, one moment you're going to look at me and you're going to tell me, fuck you. And you're going to be mad at me. He's like, I am not. Sure enough, he did something. He started throwing punches at the wind and yelling. And I looked at him and I started laughing. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm fighting the wind. I said, why are you fighting the wind? This is a useless battle. Let it go. And then he yelled at me and he said, fuck you. And I laughed because I said, yep, I knew it. You wanted to do so bad that you wanted to fight the wind to expend your energy. Let go of fights that just waste your time. Yeah? Oh, so sometimes the women are here. I'm not a waiter either. I'm a doer. No, he didn't win. Unfortunately, he went back to drugs. And it didn't end well. I spaced myself. I placed him accordingly because I knew where he was going. But I did give him a moment to be able to realize and to have clarity. And, you know, he popped up on my TikTok the other day saying hi, even though I haven't talked to him in a year. So another one that was told that I don't want to have anything to do with you, and he's watching. Yeah. So when a woman says let it go, or not to fight, just to relax, like, we're telling that because we see that you're fighting fights that you don't need to be fighting. And if you would just listen, you wouldn't have gotten so angry and self-destructed. Whew. All right. Release. Release for your pleasure. Do you want to say it like that? Release makes us feel good. Okay, so if I can't say let it go, can we say like salt and pepper, like, push it real good. If you want to let anything go, let go of the pain. If you want to be doing something, release your trauma. No. Get in line. There's a bunch of people that want to, but don't get the time. Just because I'm a flirt does not mean that everyone gets a chance. Nobody gets a chance. And that doesn't make me prude either. It just means that most people aren't worth wasting the time for, man. Oh, man. All right. Well, okay. Oh. What are you making for dinner? We can do, that's the safer subject. What are you making for dinner? Hey, okay. At least if you're going to ask about releasing, like, can you make me dinner first? Like, can we... Come on, we should have led with making dinner. What are you making dinner? What? Come on. You can't, like, ask me something wild without, like, filling my cup first. I don't know. What's the activities on the night for a date? Like, come on. And geographically, it's a little bit of a challenge because, you know, I don't drink alcohol, though. I don't date people that drink alcohol. I know that's a... Okay, well, how would make that date unless it's a online date, which is totally fine, but geographically it's a little challenging. Even the men that are in my own city can't seem to actually show up for a date. If I were planning the date or if you were planning the date? Okay. Well, if you were planning a date, you would have to plan the date, and you would actually have to execute that. And if you do that flawlessly, okay. Because I'm one of those, if you're going to be my partner, you have to make sure that I do not have to think about anything. Because if I have to plan or think about anything, maybe not. I would disrespect you probably. But if we were planning a date on my side, it would be grounding and barefoot, drinking a gallon of sweet tea and lemonade in the yard and dancing to Etta James and Otis and Nina Simone and Daft Punk, and we would be out in the yard. We would be out in the yard feeling good and connecting with nature. So barefoot, releasing, we'd be letting it go. You can disrespect my yada yada, but I would still keep running my mouth, so remember? Yeah, many have tried, few have succeeded. And like I say, if you're a man that wants to date me, I can't think about, like, you have to handle all those details. Because if I have to be the boss, then it's going to be a problem. But I would do a low maintenance date. We would be out in the yard connecting. Yeah. Because as humans, we forgot how to connect with everyone else. Okay. Well, Page of Swords. Using that discernment to cut away anything that is not for your highest good. Oh, no, I know. I'm just siding with you and a bunch of other people, so... You'd have to catch me first, Mordecai. No one can. Oh, actually, so you want to talk about that? Remember earlier how you're like, how do you attract all these people? It's because they all want a woman they can submit, but can't actually give a woman a reason to submit. These are all high, powerful men that feel that women should bow down to them, but they're men that don't give me any reason to respect or submit to them because they didn't treat me kindly. So... I'm not grumpy to you. You're not, okay, I'm not treating you any different than any man I would ever date. And you say, like, oh, men don't want to date me, I don't care. I'm not for everyone. If you can't handle me at my sass, you can't handle me at my ass. No, just kidding. Mordecai. I'm not grumpy to you. If I were grumpy to you, I wouldn't be talking to you. I know you're not average. If you were average, you wouldn't be on my feed. If you were average, you would be on someone else's feed. So, I'm not average either. Because if I was, you wouldn't find me attractive or engaging or be here. I attract equally yoked pain in the asses. Better stop. Too much flames on the internet here? Are we too spicy? Is it too hot in here? Don't come in the kitchen if you can't handle the heat. Yeah, end up cooking something you didn't know you wanted. Okay, I think I said yesterday, I was like, don't be watching me so hard, you're gonna fall in love. Like, even the people that don't like me that watch me, I'm like, you can't watch me too hard because you'll fall in love. Mordecai, you can't handle me, man. You can't handle me. You couldn't handle it. And for the sake of humanity, we won't put that to the test. You're not the only man that says you got me. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm a show me. Actually, so men are doers. I'm a show me kind of girl. Show me that you mean it. Don't tell me, show me. Be a man of action. Use higher knowledge, enlightenment. Oh gosh. Page of Swords again. Using that discernment. Oh, yeah, I do too. That's why I know this is just teasing. I got it. You can't play around too much and tease with me because, like I say, you'll fall in love and then you'll be in line with all the other men and... I'm also a pain in the butt. I'm also human. I also feel pain and cry like everyone else. I'm really beautiful, but I'm also heavily controlled and caged and have no freedom. So, yeah. Oh. Anyhow. I think when I said the other day, what's the point of being beautiful if you can't ever, like, be treated correctly? So, yeah. Alright. I'm still gonna keep shining. Okay, food-wise, go for some light Greek fare, man. Like, do some pasta salad. Some, like, just light. If you're gonna eat today, eat light today. And drink water. You can't play in my energy field and then go eat something heavy. You'll make yourself sick, my love. I know it sticks to the gut. I know. But you're gonna, like, to eat something heavy right now, it will make you sick. So, just make sure whatever you're eating today, it's not heavy. It's not gonna sit like a brick. Because it will make you feel nauseous, and that's not good. Your point right now is to be moving and drinking water and just letting it flow through you. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. had Chinese yesterday, so to be fair, I had Chinese yesterday. Okay. Oh, okay. So if we're talking subs, you know what I could really go for right now is like a great Philly cheesesteak. But there's a story with the place that I go for my Philly cheesesteaks, so I need to wait for that to clear out, or I need to wait to find a new place. Yeah. Sorry, I have a visitor currently, so just waiting for that to pass along. Okay, so go Mordecai. Who is he? It's the Amazon driver, and you're not here to be the man, so why are you mad about the Amazon driver loving me? I got lots of men that love me, man. If you want to be the man, you have to be physical and present. Hard to do when you're going off to get food. Come on now. Well, I'm not being mean, I'm just being honest. You want to be relevant, you have to be present, man. That's what nobody understands. They want to be relevant in my life, yet they can't show up to my door to be a part of it. Amazon's delivering. It's okay. You know what? Okay, so this is men play themselves. I know you're going to say I'm mean. I'm going to say this. Men play themselves all the time out of my life. Because I'm like, if you want to be a part of my life, like, so much cool stuff happens and they're never present. And I'm like, you can't be mad about what happened in my life when you can't show up. Like, my ex thought, like, oh, he's not jealous, he's not controlling, he don't care. But then he got really mad when he wasn't included in everything. So the biggest thing with dating, love, anything, if you really want something, you have to show up and be present and accounted for, even when it's hard. Yeah, I've got all kinds of popcorn. Come on, baby, I live on plantation land. You want to talk about scary shit? I've got scary stories all the time. I've got horror stories from both humans and spiritual. I have tons of stories. Get the popcorn ready. I live on haunted land. I've got plenty of horror stories, but like I say, with both humans and spirits. So let's go, man. Anyway, yeah, like, men want to be jealous, but I'm like, you have to show up and be present to actually be considered. So, you know, consider I'm mean, but are you not mean because you didn't show up? Oh, okay. Am I too much, or are you... Wait, come on now. I am too much, and that's fine. All right. Mordecai, be safe in your travels. Let it go. Let it go. Why are you fighting the wind? You know you love me. Why are you throwing punches at the wind when you know all you want to do is wrap your arms around me? I've been here the whole time. A lot of people think I'm really flighty. I've been standing still the whole time. Everybody's been leaving. I've been standing still. All right, Mordecai. Oh, then go. Okay, I am Lara Jo, SirenSongLover. Gonna pull for the collective. The energy is definitely crazy. Let's see what we mean. See what the info is. 10 of Swords. We've been going through betrayals. Every sword has been in our back. We cannot go any further. That's rock bottom. Let's go. Done. 3 of Pentacles. It's been robbing us of our financial stability. It's leaving us in uncertainty. Don't keep doing it. Don't keep spreading that. The Chariot. This is rapid, Cancerian, fast, forward motion. It's balanced. You're balancing your divinity. You're balancing your light, your dark. You're going straight down the path. Keep moving. You know what you want. Temperance. This is using patience and knowing that everything comes with hard work, diligence, and moving forward. This is Sagittarius energy. Temperance is that wounded healer. How are you taking those things that hurt you in the past and building that bright, beautiful, balanced future that you want for yourself and for everyone else? 8 of Swords, having to end that mental pain, that imprisonment. It's mental. It's your own. Cut yourself out of those chains of embondagement and walk away. 10 of Wands. This is putting down heavy burdens that are not yours to carry. You can't carry them anymore. You can't. It's too much. It's not yours. It's the baggage from the people that came before you that didn't know how to let go. You don't need to keep holding on to their baggage. Let it go. Do not hold on. Do not hold on for dear life. It's like when we hold on to a rope as it's trying to escape our hands and it just ends up burning us. Don't keep grabbing onto the rope. 4 of Wands. This is affecting your home, your stability, your balance, your refusal to let go of the past, the betrayals, the heartbreaks, the mental, the passions. Your refusal to let go of it is affecting your household and your stability. You can't keep doing it. It's affecting your finances. Do not keep feeding into things that are not feeding into you. All right. Whew. Okay, so 8 of Cups. This is closing out those emotional chapters. You've done all the hard work. You've sewed into what you need to sew into. The other card that came out here is Death, which is heavy Scorpio energy. This is every to life. No matter what they tell you.